What is going on, everyone? And in this video, I'll be giving you my UFC Vegas 45 main card predictions for the upcoming event taking place this Saturday, December 18th, 2021, and one of the last cards of the year, coming off a really exciting event where we saw a lot of upsets, or at least I guess you could call them upsets. Charles Oliveira defeating Dustin Poirier by submission. You know, I thought it was going to happen in round number 2, but it happened in round number 3. A lot of people underestimating Charles Oliveira. Obviously, literally everyone underestimating Juliana Pena. Amanda Nunes just didn't seem like she wanted to be in there. I think she kind of tapped pretty quickly to that submission. You never know what's going on personally and all that stuff. But either way, I mean, pretty much Pena just needed to survive. I mean, she was eating bombs. She was getting pieced up. But Nunes kind of gave it her all and then realized she wasn't going to go anywhere. And then maybe it could have gotten to the territory of like having a war, but Nunes just really wasn't about it. And she tapped fairly quickly and just, you know, she's still champion at 145. And maybe the weight cut really wasn't her thing. Like, you don't know. I mean, obviously, she wants to get the rematch, but you know how rematches go. Either way, I think she's better fit at 145. Maybe the power translates better at 145, but you never know. She could go out there and knock out Juliana Pena. Maybe Pena got lucky a little bit. I mean, she was getting tagged up. That's the thing. It's not like Nunes was not doing anything or looked really bad, or she was getting tagged up. Like Pena just ate a lot of good shots. Jeff Neal defeating Santiago Ponzinibbio. Pretty solid fight, split decision victory. Kai Kara-France defeating Cody Garbrandt's chin. Kind of suspect, like I was saying. I still went with Garbrandt, but obviously his chin was a little suspect in that one. Sean O'Malley defeating Paiva by TKO. Just nasty combinations. He needs to fight some top-level competition now. We need to get this guy someone that he can take on. But, yeah, unfortunate for Cody Garbrandt. Unfortunate for Amanda Nunes. But either way, great event. Looking forward to the next year. Let's see what we got. But we got a pretty solid card coming up on this one, on the main card at least. It's pretty solid fights. A lot of these fighters could be on like a main card of UFC event, probably prelims or something like that on a pay-per-view card at least. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So in the first fight on the main card, we have Darren Elkins, who'll be taking on Cub Swanson, two veterans in the game. You know, obviously Cub Swanson been around forever. You see Cub Swanson coming in off of a loss against Giga Chikadze, KO TKO, body kick, and then got finished via ground and pound. 27-12, veteran in the game, fought the best of the best, stayed around. Lately, though, he's been, you know, not necessarily looking the best, I would say, against... I guess you could argue, though, it's like against top-level competition, though, he's not looking the best. And then against guys like, you know, Kron Gracie defeated him. And then you look at Daniel Pineda, he defeated him by KO TKO. So it's against really tough guys. Darren Elkins coming into this fight, he's coming off of a win against Derek Minor, by KO TKO ground and pound. Another guy though, where he kind of when he fights top level competition, gets destroyed. Use arm against Ricardo Lamas. That was 3 years ago though. Last unanimous decision against Ryan Hall. That was kind of a sleeper fight. But yeah, in his last fight 4 months ago, Derek Minor KO TKO ground and pound. For this fight, Darren Elkins 27 and 9 losses. He's one of these guys, you know, obviously the damage, but he's one of these guys who you can never count him out, right? Kind of straightforward though, you know, he'll grapple with you. He'll look to hit the ground and pound. He's always dangerous. Right when you think he's dying, he finds a way to win, get a submission, do something crazy in there. On the feet, obviously, I think Cub Swanson is going to be the better fighter here, regardless, you know, of whether or not Cub Swanson isn't there necessarily to fight top-level competition. My only he's still there, obviously, as a fighter. It's just when he fights really good guys, he's just not able to get it done as of late. Both guys, you know, 37 for Darren Elkins, 38 for Cub Swanson, so very close in age. My only thing here would be if Cub Swanson is winning the stand-up game, maybe he's boxing up fairly good. He's doing what he needs to do on the feet. But then maybe Elkins is able to kind of just survive that, and you know, it looks like he's about to die early on, but he's able to keep going. And he's going to be annoying with the grappling. You know, he's going to press against the fence. He's going to try to drain on Cub Swanson. I don't think he's going to really want to trade with him because then Cub Swanson's probably going to piece him up. But I do see Elkins trying to be annoying. And at the same time, you never know, man. Like, I know Swanson's able to get the defensive submissions and probably go for his own submissions. But Elkins is a scary guy. Just when you think like he's not there anymore, he just finds a way to win the fight. And he can take a lot of damage, you know, hint his name. he takes a lot of damage. And at the same time, though, like I said, you think he's gonna get knocked out or something and put this guy to sleep, and then next thing you know, he's over there winning the fight at the third round or something like that. So I think Darren Elkins can kind of be annoying in this fight, have that durability, try to work that wrestling, and it might be a boring fight. Honestly, it might not be the most exciting thing. It might be Elkins just pressing him against the fence and Swanson, landing some good combinations, but then Elkins is able to grapple with him, take him down. And maybe he pulls off something crazy at the end, but I see Elkins just grappling, winning a victory here, unless Swanson's able to hurt him on the feet fairly early and kind of set that tone. But man, it's hard to get this guy out here, so I'm gonna go Darren Elkins on this one to defeat Cub Swanson. I just think he's gonna be annoying, man. I think he's gonna grind it out, so I'm gonna take Darren Elkins to defeat Cub Swanson by a decision. And then move on into the second fight on the main card. We have Diego Ferreira taking on, I'm gonna say his name right this time, Mateus Gamrot. So for Diego Ferreira, 17-4, been around the game as well for a long time. 17-4, he's the underdog in this fight, taking on a guy who I think is gonna have the better grappling, Gamrot. Now Ferreira, his cardio could be a little questionable. I think in his last fight we saw him against Gregor Gillespie. He had some good stand-up, but as far as getting grinded out via the grappling, that was kind of how that match went. He eventually lost via KO TKO, but like I said, he's fought top-level guys as well. But no Dariush, he went split decision, so it's pretty close. Beat Anthony Pettis via submission. Beat Maribek Taisumov by decision. Rustam Khabilov by decision. So he's he can grapple with these guys as well. So it's not to count him out, but Gamrot looks fairly good, even though he hasn't again fought necessarily top level competition, coming off that submission victory over Jeremy Stevens, where he did submit him, but I'm more impressed that he didn't get absolutely destroyed going into that he was able to take him down and stay away from the nasty stand up that Jeremy Stevens can bring, the violence, the aggression, and he was able to get a submission in that one. I think this one's going to come down to who's able to who's the better grappler, who's going to have the better cardio doing all that as well. Maybe Gamrot will. I just don't feel like Ferreira is going to be able to do that. I think Gamrot's probably going to, his striking also looks fairly decent as well. So if Gamrot can press forward, maybe hurt Ferreira on the feet, get him out of his game a little bit, and then take him down and start working those takedowns. Maybe not do it right away, because I think Diego Ferreira will definitely be dangerous early on. Probably go for a defensive submission if Gamrot is shooting in for takedowns. So I would like to see Gamrot, obviously use a little bit of his striking, see if he can piece him up on the feet first, then start to work in those takedowns. That way, Ferreira is not so fresh and he can't go for those defensive submissions. But either way, I like Gamrot on this one, and I think maybe if Ferreira is tired in the third round, both guys grappling, all that, we'll see if Gamrot can get a finish against someone like him. So I'm going to go Mateus Gamrot to defeat Diego Ferreira by submission in round number 3. And then we move on into the next fight. We have Rafael Assunção taking on Ricky Simón. And, Assunção coming in here, another veteran in the game, 27-8, taking on Ricky Simón, 18-3. Assunção not been having the best. Past 3 fights, definitely hasn't been having the best time in the octagon. Coming off a loss against Cody Garbrandt, he just got that nasty right hook to the dome, got put to sleep. Against Corey Sandhagen, he pretty much got beat up by him lost via decision by unanimous. And against Marlon Moraes, he got submitted. His last fight that he won is coming off of a victory over Rob Font via decision, but that was 3 years ago. And then before that, he defeated Matthew Lopez, but that was 4 years ago. So not looking too good. Looks like he's slowing down a little bit. 39 years, 10 years, the elder against Ricky Simón, who's 29 years old. So, obviously you have Ricky Simón who's going to come into this fight. And the one thing I think here is just going to be the pace, right? The outworkingness. I think if Simon's able to come in here, land the heavier strikes, definitely implement that grappling, put him against the fence, take him down, and just land the nastier shots all around. He might be able to put him away. He might not be, but I think Assunção, if he's slow, he doesn't look the same. Yeah, he might land some good shots here and there, but if he's not able to deal with that grappling and the pressure from Simón, and Simon's going to land good, I think he's going to land some pretty nasty hooks in there. He's going to be the better, trying to outwork Assunção, at least, let's see what he can do with his cardio. Maybe Simón starts to slow down too, but Assunção really needs to do something early, like leg kicks. He needs to start working on something, because if he can't match the same pace as Ricky Simón, I think it's just gonna, maybe Simón even gets a KO here. But I think Simone's going to definitely be able to work in those takedowns to just grind this one out. So I'm going to go Ricky Simone on this one. Just not, I know Asuncell's lost against top level guys, but he's getting older, hasn't had like crazy amount of fights. It's like 1-2 fights a year. So yeah, I don't know if I really like that. And he's getting older, and he's really gonna have to do something different though if he wants to win this fight. He's got to be careful too, and that's just sketchy to me. So I'm gonna go Ricky Simone to defeat Rafael Asuncell. I'll take him to win by a decision. Move on into the next fight. We have Amanda Lemos taking on Angela Overkill Hill, and for this fight, obviously Angela Hill 13-10 via Amanda Lemos 10-1-1. Angela Hill, veteran in the games, fought the best level competition. Very good technical fighter. You see her work a lot of kicks. She's kind of like a distance fighter, though, I would say. She's not landing like power shots all over the place. She's definitely one of these fighters who's going in and out, trying to create some volume to her game. The only thing here that sketches me out, maybe she works in some grappling in this one as well, but the only thing that really gets to me in this one is Lemos has definitely looked fairly dominant in her pretty much a lot of her fights outside of the loss to Leslie Smith, which 4 years ago, say what you will with that one. Obviously, Leslie Smith is one of those dogs in the game where she can make the fight hers. She can land those nasty elbows. But that was 4 years ago, and then since then, she's been on a roll. She's been able to get some KOs, TKOs, and unanimous decisions in this one. So, and some submissions. So I think Lemos, if she could be aggressive on the feet, if she can press forward, don't let Angela Hill get any distance. Just be that aggressive striker. Get in her face, get some good Muay Thai going, land those nasty power shots, and kind of just be aggressive towards Angela Hill to where Angela Hill's not able to really do anything. If she can do that, I think she can win this fight fairly easily, in my opinion, because Angela Hill, she's got to be able to kind of keep that distance, shoot, hit those pop shots here and there, and then if she can add up those points, she wins a decision like that, or maybe she loses a split decision. But Angela Hill's gonna have to do a lot more here. I just the little grappling here and there. I just think Lil's going to come forward and get really aggressive early on. So we're going to have to see what Hill's able to do. I would probably look for a grappling against someone like an aggressive striker, but at the same, should be careful with the submission. So I don't know what Hill's going to do, actually. It might be one of those fights where it's like a split decision, or I don't see Hill getting finished necessarily. I think she can kind of keep her distance and just be like one of those technical battles, but at the same time, Lemos is landing the better shots. So if she can be that aggressive fighter, land better shots, not get grappled with and held against the fence, I think Lemos is going to be able to win this one. So I'm going to go Amanda Lemos on this one to defeat Angela Hill by a decision. Move on into the co-main event of the evening. We have Stephen Wonderboy Thompson taking on Belal, remember the name, Muhammad. It's hard to really pick Muhammad in a fight like this when we've seen him against Leon Edwards, and although he got poked in the eye, it's not like he was winning that fight before that. It's a draw because it's an eye poke, but he was getting his ass beat. And Leon Edwards, I don't think he has as good of a stand-up kind of game as Stephen Thompson, and Stephen Thompson's able to really start piecing people up. And again, top-level competition in his past five fights. He lost to Darren Till via unanimous decision, got knocked out by Anthony Pettis via that Superman punch. Then he came back to beat Vincente Luque. Very tough fight, obviously. Win against a unanimous decision, win against Jeff Neal, where he's able to shut him down. And then he's coming off of a loss against Gilbert Burns via unanimous decision. And in that fight, I think he wasn't ready for the grappling of Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns did a really good job of shutting it down, getting in his face, grappling with him, landing some good shots inside. And he really wasn't able to do anything with that, Stephen Thompson. But at the same time, man, Belal Muhammad just doesn't scream like he's on that level of Gilbert Burns. I think Muhammad obviously can grapple, but coming in, Stephen Thompson's gonna light him up. He's gonna try to fight him at a distance, get that karate stance, kick him, go to the body, go for the heads. He's just gonna try to kill him. And I just don't see Belal Muhammad closing that distance at all, really. And even if he is able to close the distance, I just don't see him landing good strikes on Stephen Thompson. I mean, he can catch him, I guess, if he closes the distance, takes him down, holds him down. But I do think Thompson's striking is just going to be far better than the grappling of Belal Muhammad, to where it should be dangerous, man. I think Thompson's gonna be able to piece him up and just dominate him for for those 3 rounds. And Bilal Muhammad's tough. He's definitely been finished before though, but at the same time, I think Stephen Thompson is really good. And yeah, I guess if he can't beat, I guess if he can't beat Bilal Muhammad, then that could be a little bit concerning for his career. But at the same time, if Bilal Muhammad's able to beat him, maybe Bilal Muhammad gets back in there with someone. But Muhammad, I just don't see it. So I'm gonna go Stephen Thompson on this one. I think he can outpoint him, just blitz him when he needs to, defend the takedowns, and maybe he gets put up against the fence a little bit. But overall, I think he's gonna be pretty much lighting him up on the feet. So I'm gonna go Stephen Thompson to win this fight by unanimous decision. Let's move on into the main event of the video. We have Derek the Black Beast Lewis taking on Chris Daukaus. Obviously, Derek Lewis fighting top level competition pretty much every fight. Coming off loss against Ciryl Gane, KO, TKO, ground and pound. He sent Curtis Blades to the Shadow Realm, Alexei Oleinik to the Shadow Realm, Alir Latifi, unanimous decision, Ivanov decision. But I think if you look at his last fight, it was like, I was trying to go against Derek Lewis pretty much every time he fights, just because I feel like he's one of these guys who's like, bro, this guy's not going to be the champion of the UFC. Like, it's just, he gets to those points and then he's not able to beat him. Like, he lost to Daniel Cormier and then he beats a bunch of guys and then he came back, he fights Ciryl Gane. It doesn't happen, and he's going to beat him. And that's what I just think the way he is. It's almost like a gatekeeper, right? It's like right before he gets that title shot or, the number one contender fight, he loses it. He's never really, gonna be the champion just because his style is not against top level competition like someone like Ciryl Gane, where he just found a way to shut him down, man. And it was so predictable in my opinion, because you look at Ciryl Gane and it's like just another level of technicality. It's like this dude doesn't fight like a normal heavyweight. He's not gassing out. He's picking his shots so carefully. He fights from a distance. He's a point fighter, but then he can also knock you out when he needs to. He can possibly grapple with you as well. He's not just swinging for these punches and then gassing out after like 3 minutes. And then that's just not what Derek Lewis is. Derek Lewis is one of these guys where, he'll plot forward. He'll have a little, bursts of energy where he's blitzing you and coming for you, gonna take off your head. But then, after that, if you're able to survive it, not a lot of people can. But if you're able to survive it, like Ciryl Gane is, you start landing your own shots. And then next thing you know, Lewis is like, oh shit, now what do I do? Like, what am I supposed to do? I was supposed to knock you out in the first 3 minutes, and now that's not gonna happen. Now, Chris Daukaus, he's definitely one of these heavyweights where he has a little bit more to his game. He can definitely get the fight on the ground. Do something on the ground, submission-wise. On the feet, his hands are fairly quick. He can be hit, though, on the feet. Like, I would say more so than Ciryl Gane. Like, if Ciryl Gane was fighting Chris Daukaus, I would pick Ciryl Gane to win the fight by KO, TKO, just because I think he would find holes in Daukaus' game where even though he does land some pretty good shots, he has some moments where he leaves his chin open. I think, was it the last fight that he was in? Yeah, even against Shamil Abdurakhimov, like, he ate some shots in that fight. He's winning his fights, though. It's not like he's trash. He's definitely won all past 5 fights via KO, TKO, so it's not like he's bad. But I just think against, man, it's so hard to pick against Lewis now because, he'll probably, I always pick against Lewis, and then when I feel like he's going to win, he doesn't win. So it's like, I don't know. I really want to go with Lewis just because, like, yeah, Daukaus has the speed, but he has to put all these things together just for it to work, right? And Lewis only has to hit him once, and it just, Daukaus isn't gonna fight like Ciryl Gane. Like, Daukaus, if we watch him be quick and he fights a little bit technical, he still leaves himself exposed when he gets into some of those exchanges. Where, man, if you're swinging like that and Lewis hits you like that, you're going to sleep, man. I'm confident that Lewis can take some initial shots. Now, I do worry that maybe, like, maybe Lewis isn't really there and he gets tagged up a bit, and then it's like, oh, and he just, he does the classic, like, turn around and turtle into the fence, and then Daukaus is just teeing off on him and wins the fight. I'm gonna definitely see that happening, but I think Daukaus is gonna have to do a lot more. He's definitely capable of that. I guess we'll see, right? I guess we'll see if Daukaus can be able to do that. But Derek Lewis, man, like, it's like you look at him and you're like, nah, he's not gonna win this fight. And then next thing you know, this guy just loads up like one shot and just sends him into the shadow realm. It's sketch, man. It's just one of these things because it's like, you know what you need to do to defeat Derek Lewis. Like, you literally do what Surreal Gone did: pick your shots, survive, you know, that initial like onslaught of him swinging for the fences basically. And then once you're able to survive that, you just start picking him apart, land some good leg kicks, and go to the body, and then basically just tee off on him. And then next thing you know, he's like, oh, I'm not gonna be here anymore, and he turtles up, and then that's it. But like I said, if Daukaus gets into any sort of wild exchange and it's early on, man, Lewis is gonna just take his head off. So we'll have to see what happens. But I like Derek Lewis on this one. You know, I don't think he's ever gonna be the champion, and I think he will lose those #1 contender fights. But if he's losing to, like, you know, guys out of the top 5, you know, maybe the decline is really there. So we'll have to see. But for now, I feel like I have a read on Lewis. I feel like he can definitely be a gatekeeper for the top 5. So I'm gonna go Derek Lewis on this one. You know, I gotta take him to win, man. I gotta take him to defeat Chris Daukaus by round 1, KO TKO. So that'll do it, guys, for my UFC Vegas 45 main card predictions for the upcoming event taking place this Saturday. Looking forward to the main event, man. Looking forward to you know, obviously the year ending and then having some more fights next year, and we'll have to see what happens next year. Hopefully some of these events come to Florida. Really looking forward to them coming to Florida. I know they went that one time in Jacksonville, but they haven't been back since. So looking forward to it. We'll see what happens. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Leave your comments down below. Hit the like button if you want to. Subscribe if you want to. Thank you guys for watching this year. Really appreciate it. Hope to get better. Adding some new graphics soon, so we'll see how that works. But yeah, either way, have a good one, and I'll see you guys in the next video.